Hello everyone, this is Balaji K.S. signing in for Brain Smart Labs. I know your previous session was a bit hectic as you learnt a whole lot of new concepts.
Oh, really?
Well, in our today's class, we continue exploring the use of where clause, its benefits, what all we can query, etc. etc. etc.
Okay.
One thing you all need to firmly understand is by using where clause, you get to choose specific results among the whole bunch of records present in your table. An enterprise database simply means it will be having millions of records distributed across a few tables.
That is correct.
While writing an application for an enterprise, your job will be to code a program using languages like Java, JavaScript, .NET, whatever, to fetch the required result what the user is expecting from the database and display it back to use.
Ooh.
So inside these programs written in Java and JavaScript, you use SQL queries to fetch the results from the database.
Okay.
And that is why I am teaching you how to write queries using various scenarios for you to get an optimum results in your database search.
Yes.
Moving on, let us first see what we did in our previous session. In our previous session, Understanding Where Clause Part 1, first we created a new table by name Topper Tutorials, which is having 7 columns inside. After this, one by one we started to insert values for 6 different students, namely Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram, Amara, Madhura and Prema. Please note, while executing your SQL commands, do not run all commands at once on your Apex as it will lead to an SQL error. You can run or execute only one command at a given point of time in your SQL command screen present in your Apex. In scenario 1, 2 and 3, we understood the importance of select clause and where clause. In scenarios 4 and 5, we learnt how to do pattern making and matching using wildcards, that is percentage symbol and underscore symbol with the help of a like operator. In today's chapter, I will be specifically teaching you how to use comparison operators like equal to, not equal to, greater than, less than, etc. inside our where clause. Take a look.
Introducing comparison operators.
Comparison operators are operators used within where clause which helps us to build a relational expression inside a query for us to obtain the required results. There are different types of comparison operators in SQL. They are A. Equal to operator represented by the following symbol. B. Not equal to operator represented by the following symbol. C. Greater than operator represented by the following symbol. D. Less than operator represented by the following symbol. E. Greater than or equal to operator represented by the following symbol. And F. Lesser than or equal to operator represented by the following symbol. Today I will be covering all of the above operators and I will explain you its benefits and limitations. So stay very attentive and make proper notes as I am not going to repeat this topic one more time.
Equality operator in SQL.
Equality operator in Oracle is used to obtain result from rows only if the given equality condition is true. In SQL we can use equality operator for both string comparison and numeric comparison. For example, in our SQL query, if we write where student name equal to Madhura, the above where clause will retrieve all rows from a table whose student name column entries matches with the string Madhura.
Scenario number 6.
Display student name and SLC science columns of students who have scored 95 in SLC science. If you closely observe the Topper Tutorials table, they want us to display only 2 columns, that is student name and SLC science. Now if you ask me what all the rows they want us to display, they are asking us only rows that are having SLC science equal to 95. Fortunately, we have only one row that matches with the above given criteria as Sundaram is the only student who has scored 95 in SLC science. Coming to the query section, we first need to type select student name, SLC science in the first line. From Topper Tutorials in the second line, as this is a table, we need to query where SSLC science equal to 95 in the last line, which signifies the condition for our where clause. please observe we are using a numerical comparison here for our equality operator. As I am exclusively teaching all comparison operators in detail, it is my duty to show you how an equality operator is used in string comparison also. Take a look.
Scenario number 7.
Display records of student name, SLC science, SLC maths from topper tutorials table whose student name is equal to Madhura. I am not going to show you this example one more time, so please observe carefully and make proper notes.
Inequality operator in SQL.
Inequality operator in Oracle works exactly opposite to that of equality operator. It is used to obtain result from rows only if the given inequality condition is true. Once again over here, it can be used for both string comparison and numerical comparison inside our where clause. For example, where student name not equal to Madhura. The above where clause when executed will retrieve all rows from the table whose student name column entries does not match with the string Madhura. Hope the clause and its definition is self-explanatory.
Scenario number 8.
The manager of Topper Tutorials takes a look at the calendar and he gets shocked. It's almost 2 months starting a new batch and still many have not paid their due amount.
Oh no!
So he is asking you, the SQL developers, a small favor only because now you have learned the true power of inequality operator. Display student name, joining date and fee paid of students who have not paid rupees 5,000 completely. Well, if you closely observe the table Topper Tutorials, they are asking us to display only these 3 columns, and in that we have to filter who have not paid a complete fee of rupees 5,000. As a matter of fact, we know not even a single soul would have paid more than rupees 5,000 as that is a maximum fee. ಬಿಟ್ಟಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪಾಠ ಕಲಿರೋ ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಓಡೋಗೋ ಜನ ಇನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಫೀಸ್ ಬೇರೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಪಾಠ ಕಲಿಯೋ ಪಾಪ ಉಂಟಾ? So keeping this logic in mind, we have to filter out only students who have not paid rupees 5,000 as their fees. The student in the first row has paid only rupees 3,000 which is not equal to 5,000, so he gets marked in the process. The student in the second row has paid rupees 3,000 which again is not equal to rupees 5,000, so even he gets marked in the following process. The third student fortunately has paid a fee of rupees 5,000 which is equal to 5,000, and so Mr. Sundaram does not get marked in this process. The fourth student Amara has paid only rupees 2,500 which is not equal to rupees 5,000, and so even she gets marked in the filtering process. The fifth student Madhura is a very good girl and she has paid rupees 5,000 which is equal to value 5,000, and so she does not get marked in this process. Last but not the least, the sixth student Prema has paid only rupees 3,000 which is not at all equal to 5,000, and so she duly gets marked in the filtering process. Now looking at this table, we are now getting a clear idea on what should be the query and what will be the result. In the query section, start writing select student name, joining date, fee paid in the first line and press enter. In the next line, write from Topper Tutorials, which is a table of our choice, and again press enter. In the last line, type where fee paid not equal to symbol 5,000 and type a semicolon to end the query as seen over here. Highlight the query using your mouse and run it with full confidence. You will be getting the desired result as expected. Congratulations! Now after equality and inequality operator, here comes a very important comparison operator, greater than.
Greater than operator in SQL.
Greater than operator in Oracle is used to obtain results from rows only if the value in the entry is greater than the given expression. It can be used for both numerical comparison and string comparison. For example, where SLC maths is greater than 75. The above where clause will retrieve all rows from the table whose SLC maths column entries are greater than the value 75.
Scenario number 9.
The physics teacher of our institute wants to felicitate all students who have scored above 80 in SLC science with a Cadbury's chocolate. Oh yeah! He says it will be a morale booster for other students to put more efforts in his subject and score well in all physics exams. So he is calling you, the database pro, to find out all students who have scored above 80 in SLC science, as you have now understood how to use a greater than operator.
Okay.
Now his question to you is, display student name and SLC science column of students who have scored more than 80 in SLC science. If you closely observe the topper tutorials table, they are asking us to display only these two columns where students have scored more than 80 in SLC science. If you start analyzing their scores one by one, the first student Satyam has scored 45, which is definitely not greater than 80. As a result, he doesn't get marked in the process. The second student Shivam has scored 85, which is of course greater than 80. And as a result, he will get felicitated by a Cadbury's chocolate. The third student Sundaram has scored 95 in SLC science, which is definitely greater than 80. And as a result, he will definitely be felicitated with 2 Cadbury's chocolates. The fourth student Amara has scored 75 in SLC science, which is not greater than 80, and so she will not be felicitated. The fifth student Madhura has scored 91 in SLC science, which is definitely greater than 80, and so she has to be felicitated by our physics teacher for scoring good marks. Last but not the least, it is Prema who has scored 53 in SLC science, which is not at all greater than 80, and so she will not get felicitated by our physics maestro. Better luck next time, Prema.
Thank you very much.
If you have understood till here, writing a query for this section would be very easy. Select student name, SLC science in the first line, followed by a keystroke enter. From topper tutorials will be in the second line, as this is a table which has to be searched. Where SSLC science is greater than 80 semicolon in the last line, which defines the filtering criteria for this particular query. Highlight the query using your mouse and run the query by pressing the run button above. Kaboom! On the output screen, you will see a list of students who are to be felicitated by their physics teacher. Congratulations! Just how we use the greater than operator for numerical comparison, we can also use the same for string comparison.
String comparison using relational operators.
Using relational operators like greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, etc., we can relate and compare string entries present in our tables. For example, where student name is greater than n. The above where clause will provide the resultant rows whose student name starts after the alphabet n. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ವಾ? Let us take one more example then. In the query where student name is less than r, the above where clause will provide the resultant rows whose student names start before alphabet r. Still did not understand. Still you did not understand means you have to watch this scenario.
Scenario number 10.
Display all student names inside topper tutorials table whose name starts after alphabet n. So if you analyze the given topper tutorials table, they are asking us to display only one column, that is student name. inside student name column, they want us to display only specific names whose first letter is starting after alphabet N. So if we analyze all rows inside the table, the first name Satyam is starting with character S, which is of course greater than alphabet N. Now as a result, the following row will be selected. In the second row, we have the name Shivam, whose first letter again starts with character S, which is again greater than alphabet N. Now as a result, the following row will be selected. The third row now will also be selected, as here once again the name is starting with alphabet S, which is again greater than alphabet N. Coming to the fourth row, the student name is Amara and her name is starting with alphabet A. Now as we all know, if we check the condition A greater than N, we will get the result as false, as alphabet A comes first and alphabet N comes last in our English alphabet series. As a result, the following row will not be selected and we should move on with the next row. The same case applies here for the next row Madhura, as this row will not be selected here because alphabet M is not greater than alphabet N. Now here comes the last row Prema, and the starting alphabet P here is definitely greater than alphabet N. As a result, the following row will be selected and this table here will now give us a clear idea about how to write a query for this scenario. Select student name in the first line and press enter. From Topper Tutorials in the second line, which names the table we are accessing. And in the last line we type where student name is greater than N in single quotes, which describes the condition for the filtration process. Highlight the query to run the same and boom. As you can see, we have all names here whose first letter is greater than alphabet N. Congratulations! After seeing greater than operator, it is a common tradition for us to understand less than operator in SQL. Take a look.
Less than operator in SQL.
Lesser than operator in Oracle is used to obtain results from rows only if the value in the entry is lesser than the given expression. It can be used for both string comparison and numerical comparison in SQL. For example, where SSLC signs is less than 80. The above where clause will retrieve all rows from the table whose SSLC signs column entries are less than numerical value 80. And now we have a scenario. The owner of Topper Tutorials is very much concerned about the results.
Oh, really?
His idea is to provide special attention for students in physics, chemistry and biology so that the overall scores will be high.
That is correct.
So he calls all three lecturers and asks them to give special attention for students who have scored less than 80 in SSLC science.
Scenario number 11.
Display student name and SSLC science scores in Topper Tutorials table whose SSLC science score is less than 80. Now if we analyze the table what we have provided, they have asked us to display only student name and SSLC science columns. The following column will be compared with numerical 80 and the row will be selected only if the value is less than 80. Coming to the query section, we have to write select student name, SSLC signs in the first line and press enter. In the next line we write from Topper Tutorials, as this is the table we have to search for values. In the last line we write the condition as where SSLC signs is less than numerical 80. Now highlight the following query to run the same and boom. you will get the result which will display all students who have scored less than 80 in SSLC Science. Now, as I have told you before, the less than operator not only works for numerical comparison but also works for string comparison as well. The following scenario will make you understand how to use less than operator for string comparison.
Scenario number 12.
Display all student names inside Topper Tutorials table whose name starts before alphabet R. I am not going to explain this animation as it is similar to your previous string comparison. Please view it fully and understand the query for yourself.
Greater than or equal to operator in SQL.
Greater than or equal to operator in Oracle is used to obtain result from rows only if the value in the entry is either greater than or equal to the given expression. Once again over here, it can be used for both numerical comparison and string comparison. For example, where SSLC Maths is greater than or equal to 75. The above where clause will retrieve all rows from the table whose SSLC Maths column entries are greater than or equal to numerical value 75. And now we have a scenario. The maths teacher of our Topper Tutorial Center will have his opening class tomorrow evening. For him to be popular among students, he decides to give a 5-star chocolate to all students who have scored 75 or more than 75 in SLC Maths.
Sweet.
So to buy the exact amount of 5-star chocolates, he asked you, the SQL developers, to fetch the details from the database.
Scenario number 13.
Display student name and SSLC Maths score in Topper Tutorials table whose SSLC Maths is greater than or equal to numerical value 75. So if we analyze the Topper Tutorials table, they are asking us to select these two columns. In this, they want us to filter the records of those students who have scored 75 or more than 75 in SSLC Maths. So if we start looking all the records one by one, the first row has its value as 35, which is neither greater than nor equal to value 75. As a result, Satyam will not receive any chocolate. In the second row, the value is 69, which is neither greater than nor equal to value 75. As a result, even Shivam will not receive his chocolate. Now in the third row, we have the value as 75, which is equal to 75, and as a result, Sundaram will receive a 5-star chocolate.
Yes!
In the fourth row, we have the value as 60, which is neither greater than nor equal to value 75. As a result, Amara will not get selected, and of course, she will not receive any chocolate. Coming to the next row, the value is 98, and hell yeah, it is greater than 75. As a result, Madhura's name will be selected and she will receive a double 5-star chocolate.
Oh yeah!
In the last row, the value here is 63 and it is definitely not greater than nor equal to value 75. As a result, this row will not be selected and Prema will not receive her chocolate. Coming to the query section, we have to start writing the following code. That is, select student name, SSLC maths in the first line and press enter. From topper tutorials in the second line, as this is a table we want to query. In the last line we write where SSLC maths is greater than or equal to 75 and semicolon to end the query as shown here. If you highlight the above query and run the same by pressing the run button, you will get the desired output as seen over here. Just as we have a greater than or equal to operator, we also have a less than or equal to operator in SQL, which we will be seeing now.
Lesser than or equal to operator in SQL.
Lesser than or equal to operator in Oracle is used to obtain results from rows only if the values in the entry is either lesser than or equal to the given expression. Once again over here, it can be used for both numerical comparison and string comparison. For example, where joining date is less than or equal to May 30th of 2016. The above where clause will retrieve all rows from the table whose joining date column entries are less than or equal to value May 30th of 2016. The example of this can be seen in the following scenario. The manager of the institute wants you to review the fee paid by all students. It is a month of July and people who have joined before the month of May have still not paid their fees completely.
Oh no!
So he is asking you all the details of students who have joined on or before May 30th of 2016 so that he can keep a correct tabs on them.
Scenario number 14.
Display student name, joining date and fee paid of students in topper tutorials table whose joining date is on or before May 30th, 2016. I am not going to explain this example as it is self-explanatory. Please view it fully and understand it by yourself. So overall, we covered all relational operators in Oracle, that is in SQL database.
Okay.
Please note down this table for your future reference and this will help you tomorrow.
Relational operators in Oracle.
In Oracle or MySQL or any SQL database, we have these many relational operators. That is, this sign is for equality operator, these two signs combined for not equal to operator, this sign is for greater than operator, this sign is for less than operator, these two signs combined for greater than or equal to operator, and these two signs combined for less than or equal to operator. Guru, I have one doubt. In Java language, these signs for relational operators are quite different, but here it is completely different. Now why is that? Very simple. Java is a different language, SQL is a different language. In Kannada, we write A like this, whereas in Hindi, we write A like this. Both might sound the same or maybe from same origin, but both are different languages altogether and we users represent them using different symbols in different languages.
That is correct.
Likewise, Java is a completely different language and SQL is a completely different language. And so, symbols might vary for a few operations. And that brings me to the end of this session, Understanding Where Clause Part 2.
Okay.
Now don't forget to try all these queries as they are very important. If you do not understand anywhere, do text us your doubts on WhatsApp if you are stuck somewhere so that we can solve it for you. Remember, you understanding the subject is our topmost priority. Do refer your friends to buy this series on our website www.brainsmartlabs.com, which will give us a financial aid for us to make more and more videos like this. Until then, this is Balaji K.S. signing out, and you know what to do. Muchkond query ಮಾಡಿ. Bye bye.